correct, who's
Very good,
filling in
yeah.
for Councilmember Gant tonight. And we'll just jump right into it. Okay, so the first agenda item is approval of minutes. We actually have 3 different sets of minutes to approve. Is there any discussion or correction regarding the December minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the December minutes.
Okay, Katie makes a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Jason makes seconds. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. February 2023 minutes. Any discussion or corrections? Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I move they be adopted.
Okay, John moves that they be adopted. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Greg seconds. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
I'm abstaining because I wasn't present.
Okay, please let the record show that member Schaff is abstaining. Otherwise, the motion passes. Okay, how about the March minutes? Any discussion or corrections? Is there a motion? All right, Sean will motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Bill seconds. Is there anybody abstaining from these minutes?
I was not present.
I
I
am
will
as
abstain
well.
too.
Okay, Greg and Katie will abstain.
And I will abstain too.
And, all right, Councilman Zegler?
Zegerman.
Zegerman, I apologize. All right, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed, rather? Okay, that motion passes. Okay, announcements. Are there any announcements from town staff? Okay. I know Shelley is with us remotely. At the last meeting, we discussed updates to the board's lighting UDO amendment, and you mentioned you might have an update for us at this meeting, and I just wanted to follow up on that.
We sent it back to the electric director to make sure that the things that you guys have asked for are things that the electric department can actually do. He's rereading those just to make certain that there's not anything that needs to change, so that we're not in a situation where we've updated it, then we find out there's a problem, and then we have to go back and we kind of look silly. So, not you guys looking silly, town staff looking silly. So we are asking him to take another look at it. He got that, I want to say late last week or first of this week, and should be getting comments back to us probably within the next couple of weeks. Since he's a director, these things take a little bit more time since he has to carve time out to take a look at it. I've also offered to sit down and have a meeting with him to answer any questions if he has any. So that is one step before we can keep going. After that, staff will be working on making sure that all of the planners and the zoning compliance officers understand the updates clearly, so that when we take those updates to town council, we can start enforcing them pretty quickly right after.
Okay, great, thank you.
One question, Shelley, this is John.
Yes, sir.
Have they expressed any issues with some of the language in there, some of the proposals, or is it just haven't had time to fully look at it good yet?
So far, the electric director has not expressed any concerns with anything. We have had some questions from some of our planning staff about what certain things mean, but I've been able to answer those pretty adequately. We're just waiting until after we get more feedback from him to make sure nothing has to change before I sit down with everybody and go through how we are going to be enforcing all of it. I'll probably be reaching out to Kim Pearson as well, since she offered to help us out with that once we get closer to adoption.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jason, do you have any updates from the special committee working group? Have you guys met again?
Yeah, we met again. We're attempting to get everybody together at Earth Fest, and they'll be around us We don't know whether they'll have a booth or not, so if they don't, then they're just gonna join us over there.
Okay.
If they do, then they're gonna have corresponding, displays, so things that will be in the same theme as what we have.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, and I just had one thing. John and I met a few weeks ago with the Morrisville and Cary Environmental Advisory Board folks. We're representatives from those boards. It's something that we had been doing quarterly, and sort of just to give each other updates and talk about the different initiatives that are going on in the different towns. It was very interesting. Morrisville had a Green Day drive-through collection event where they had, you could do electronic recycling, textile recycling, fats, oils, greases. They even got a special permit to do CFL and LED bulbs. And they said, and they also had a medication take back, paper shredding, as well as information about what should go into the shredder and what can just be recycled regularly. And evidently it was a massive success for them. So that was pretty interesting. The other interesting thing was from Cary. They were so successful. So they have a composting center where you can bring your food waste there and compost it and drop it off into bins. That has been so successful that they're now doing a feasibility study on whether or not they can do curbside composting. So that was pretty interesting. And of course, everybody is very excited about the tree canopy study that's going to be coming out that covers the county. And Morrisville said that their understanding was that the folks that are doing it are going to offer to present to the councils that it covers. So all in all, it was a very good meeting. We're gonna have our next one in October. So I guess we do it every 6 months. So that's the update I had from that. Okay. Any other announcements or questions?
Suzanne, just to let you know, we actually received the same information about the group being willing to present to town council, I think last week or the week before.
Okay.
So.
Great. And so, Shelley, that will show up like on the regular agenda, so if the interested public could either watch or attend to hear it?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Next up on our agenda is a pre-application meeting with the Smith Farm Phase 5 PUD amendment. Welcome.
Good evening. Peter Knosson with Jones Knosson Engineering. I'm here for the applicant, which are the owners of 2 parcels within the Smith Farm PUD in Phase 5. We really have a simple rezoning request. It's really just a PUD amendment to the existing PUD, and that is to remove a buffer requirement adjacent to existing Sweetwater Phase 10. That is the site of a grocery store, which is being anchored by, I understand, by Harris Teeter, as well as a couple out parcels. This here is the Smith Farm Phase 5, and we're requesting the buffer be removed along that eastern property boundary adjacent to Sweetwater Phase 10. Reason being is we were approached by the design team for Sweetwater, and there is currently no buffer along their western property, which are adjoining the Smith Farm Phase 5 PUD. They currently, in their design, have a retaining wall that runs along the eastern property line. And that retaining wall actually goes down and cuts off at the end of Ingold Drive, which is a connector from the primary street over to the west, which adjoins Smith Farm's Phase 5 PUD. And they want, my understanding, the town wants that Ingold Drive to extend into the Smith Farm's Phase 5 PUD. But with the grading that's required with that retaining wall, we've been approached, like I said, from the Sweetwater design team. They want to remove that wall so that road can be extended. Due to the grading that's required, where they've asked us to remove the buffer requirement so they can grade on our site so that retaining wall can be removed. And then that would allow Ingold Drive to be extended. Without the grading that's necessary, that retaining wall is going to need to remain in place. Ingold Drive cannot be extended. So it's really, like I said, we were approached, it's really to accommodate a request to remove a retaining wall in their property. There is no buffer on their site, so it's really just matching their buffer, which was removed again by a PUD amendment. That's my understanding. So this is really a simple request. I know the board can make recommendations because we are bringing this as a rezoning, but I do just want to let you all know that as of right now, we are not offering any environmental conditions, just because this is a request from an adjacent property owner to accommodate grading to remove a retaining wall, again, for a road that's been requested to be extended by the town. So with that, I hope I'm here to answer any questions that you all may have. Hopefully it's well understood what we're trying to do, but I'm certainly here to offer any further explanations if needed.
Are you looking at removing the retain, you're looking at the buffer being removed for the whole stretch there behind the proposed grocery store, right?
That is correct.
Not just where it affects the Engle Road extension?
That is correct.
What is the motivation for that? Why not just do a partial regrading instead of, so why does the whole property line need to be regraded?
Well, there's a substantial amount. When you look at this, you can see there's almost 10 to 15 feet of grading that's being done. That retaining wall is, from what I understand, is of a fairly significant height. I don't know how far back it would need to be moved in order to get Ingold Drive to work. But, just because you're grading in one area doesn't mean you're not impacting, whether it be up further from Ingold Drive or down. I mean, those are design elements that, I haven't looked into. As I said, we're just looking to make an accommodation of what was requested of us by these property owners.
So you're gonna do all this grading, and okay. So there was going to be a vegetated buffer along there, was that the idea?
There is no buffer on the Sweetwater property. Which is to the east. That is the one which is being anchored by a Harris Teeter, and then there are a few other out parcels. The Smith Farms Phase 5 PUD.
Which on your map is currently the one that has nothing on it.
Isn't it?
huh?
Right.
Correct. There are buffer requirements required by the PUD. The buffers would need to meet the UDO depending upon what is built within that PUD.
So will they be responsible for revegetating this graded slope, or there's just not gonna be any kind of buffer between the two?
There would not, what we are requesting is a removal of the buffer completely.
And
Basically, that matches what was done at Sweetwater.
is it residential going in on that property?
It's unknown at this time. There has been no buyer yet for the property, from my understanding, so it could go residential, it could go commercial. It's unknown at this particular time.
When that property was rezoned, that was supposed to be a non-residential area up towards 64. That's my understanding. And I know the staff made some errors there and reduced the amount of non-residential at that time. But there is supposed to be some residential there. And I guess my question is, if you're gonna put a slope in there, you got to, if it's 10 feet, you're gonna have to slope it down.
Mm-hmm.
Why not revegetate it? If it's a slope, I doubt if you can use it for anything, certainly not parking cars.
Oh, it will be grassed, but When the Smith Farm PUD comes in with a development plan, it's very likely that there's going to be additional grading in the future, depending upon how all that gets laid out and how it all gets graded.
It seems to me you could do the slope and revegetate it with a A or B buffer, or I suppose it's an E buffer now, what is it?
Like I said, it depends upon what is eventually
Yeah.
goes
Well,
in.
I'm
as far as the
assuming that
building.
it's not.
It'll probably be
residential,
more
but
of a B,
non-residential, but-
more of a like a 20, I think they're usually around a 20-foot type B is fairly common.
I don't see why you can't revegetate it. They can get rid of their retaining wall, you can put a slope in there, they can pay you for the easement and revegetate it. Makes sense to me, I can't see just giving it up.
So is that a recommendation?
That's my recommendation.
A recommendation to revegetate with do you have a particular type buffer or
I'd go a B buffer.
with a type B?
I'd love to go an A buffer, but I think that a B buffer, if the board wants an A buffer, I'll certainly jump on that one too. But I think if it's non-residential to non-residential, I could see a B buffer, but if it's non-residential to residential, then I think it has to be an A buffer. And I think you'd have to have a fairly wide buffer if that's what ends up, because the non-residential is on the Sweetwater side. So if Smith Farms is residential there, and I don't think it's gonna be anyhow, then you'd have to have an A buffer between those two types of development.
So the recommendation is for a type B, since we don't know at this time. Would that be reasonable?
Yeah, minimum type B, and certainly the UDO is gonna require a type A if it, and allow for the slope. You can do all of that without having to get rid of the buffer, I think.
One concern I've got is we make that recommendation, that sort of obliterates the ability to extend that road.
If you put the slope in, if you're getting rid of the retaining wall, you're putting a slope in of some sort, you might as well vegetate the slope. And
Mr.
it doesn't
Garrison?
have to come all the way out to the road, I guess, so that it'll allow for different contours to allow the road to go through.
Mr. Jensen's correct. If a public right-of-way goes through a buffer, then it's not required to be vegetated where the public right-of-way is. So requiring vegetation there would essentially be read as requiring it anywhere except where public right-of-way goes through or public utilities.
That seems reasonable. So the recommendation then is to revegetate to a type B minimum everywhere except for where the road comes through.
That works.
I second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Somebody needs to make a motion on that.
I think he's made a motion.
Okay, all right, Bill made the motion.
Yeah.
John seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Moving on to festivals. Okay, so, first of all, I would like to thank Adam, who is not here, and Jason for putting together some beautiful handouts that hopefully we're gonna have printed to give out for the festival about native plants and invasive plants. They look amazing, and thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, they do look good.
Okay, so last week, it was asked by staff that the board take on scheduling shifts for the upcoming festivals, both the ones in the immediate future and going forward. So jumped on that. We still have a lot of details to work out. Lindley sent out a sign-up genius on my behalf for Peak Fest. I don't know if everybody received that or if it might have gotten lost in your emails. If you did sign up on that, thank you. If not, there will be an opportunity tonight for you to look at the available shifts and sign up for those. So first one, Earth Fest, that is coming up very quickly on Saturday. And initially, when I received Megan's planning spreadsheet, it looked like almost half the board was not going to be available for that event. So we weren't sure if we were going to make it happen. Some availability has changed. Fortunately, it's a short festival, so I think the question now is, can we get enough hands on deck to make it happen? Is it gonna happen with the weather
I
as
was
it,
asking Lindley that, and I'm not sure who makes that call.
okay,
That's a very good point, though.
is there, in,
I don't know when they would make that call.
is, okay.
I'll find out.
Okay, is there also like an inclement weather plan, or like if everything starts to go sideways in the middle of the festival, like what do we do? I guess is what I'm asking.
Last year we canceled Peak Fest, kind of,
Okay.
you know, mid-afternoon because of a storm that came through.
And did you just shut everything down? and
Everybody shuts down and
sheltered?
packs up and runs for the car,
Okay.
basically.
Okay, so if you could let us know about that, Jessica, I would
I
appreciate it.
will. I'll let you know, like, what the plan is, and if there is a plan, like, when it would be
Okay,
told to everybody.
okay. Okay, so that part we'll have figured out. The other part is, can we get enough people scheduled to cover all of the shifts? So, I don't know if you all can see it. Shelley has put up on the monitor what we have so far. Jason mentioned about the Bee City and Tree Cap folks. They may or may not be joining us. So I would say let's not plan on that. So right now, we've got Jason and Bill, and I'm sort of pulling from what Megan had on her sheet. So do let me know if that has changed. So for setup, we have Jason and Bill from 10 to 12. The stormwater folks have volunteered to help us get the tent and our giveaway items to our spot. I'm not sure what our spot is.
I'm not sure either, but it's close enough that stormwater will be nearby.
It's gonna be over here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it'll
In the
be,
circle.
Yeah, so they'll be here and they'll find you, you know. They'll
Okay.
find, they know who to look for, and they're going from the same place. All their stuff is stored where your stuff is stored, so it makes sense for us to help.
okay.
Where is it stored, if I can ask? Because I'm going to bring a bunch of birdhouses to give away, bird nest boxes.
I don't know how
Can I-
much room we have, but it's down in our, the basement
Here,
And water,
I assume?
at the the Public Works building.
admin, water resources admin.
Oh, okay, I'll just bring them that day.
Okay, that's probably easier.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna set up, maybe you can just.
I'll bring them at that
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I can also come up and help as well, because I don't live that far away. So on from, I can't remember if it was this or Peak Fest where I adjusted the times that Megan had. It looked like on Peak Fest there was one really tiny short shift, but I think these are all the same. So on the first shift, we have Greg and myself. I can be moved around from that. I have no problem with that. The second shift, Katie and Patrick. That still works for you, Katie?
Mm-hmm, it's fine.
Okay. And then, how about for takedown?
I think it's fine.
Okay, I can also come back up and help you take with, or break it down.
I had signed up for breakdown too.
Okay,
Yeah, I did that like a couple days ago, so I don't know why it didn't show up.
okay. All right, so we have Sean on breakdown as well.
What time is sit up?
Setup is from 10 to 12.
Yeah, I can definitely do the breakdown. My daughter has volleyball games that I have to bring her to during the day. That's why.
Okay, well, no, that's perfect, yeah, if you,
Yeah, that works out. It looks
Yeah.
great.
yeah, that works great. Okay,
And my wife is likely to tag along for setup, so she'll have an extra set of hands
okay,
to help
perfect.
out too.
All right, so it looks like we've got We got it covered. We can do this, okay?
Suzanne, I have a quick question. You mentioned something about printing or some handouts. What needs
Yes.
to happen? Are we printing those for you, or who we can have?
That's the plan. I don't know where that is at the moment. So,
Shelley, could you recap?
Are we talking about handouts or are we talking about the large posters that
it,
everyone
it
put
was a
together?
large poster, not a handout.
Okay, so I
don't know.
emailed that to Jessica and Amanda the day that I got it from you guys, and it may just be that this week has been kind of a mess. So we will work that out, and I'll get you an update by noon tomorrow at the very latest.
I think it was a matter of budget.
I can't imagine it would even take that long to find an answer. I just want to make sure that nobody's got weird schedule stuff tomorrow.
Now, all of our goodies have been ordered, right, and have arrived?
The handouts?
The giveaway
The
items?
giveaway stuff.
I believe so.
We have a fair
Lisa
amount.
Rashke was handling that for us now, so I will get up with her tomorrow as well.
The giveaway items.
I think they've arrived. I just,
Yeah, they're all here.
They should all be in
okay, awesome.
the Water Resources Admin building.
Yeah, there's tons of things down there.
Okay.
Like Christmas.
So, being that we might encounter rain and lots of the items that we order don't play well with rain, do you all have any kind of like large like plastic bags we could put this stuff in case it like the sky opens up?
Do you guys have a tent or no?
We have a tent,
I
but if
have
it
a
starts
tent, but I
blowing,
wouldn't count on
yeah,
that.
Or maybe
you know,
a large Tupperware box.
a large Tupperware, a large bin. Yeah. Does
Bin.
the,
Yep.
Yeah.
does the town have any like large storage things or even large like trash bags that we could either cut apart or put stuff in just to keep it away from the water if it does start raining?
I can go buy some big trash bags.
We don't have any
Yeah.
already.
Let me, okay, I can look at my garage too. I think I have some contractor bags too that I can bring.
I can look in mine
Send me an
too.
email, you need to buy something, not too far, I can go get it.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so it looks like we have this covered. I'll have, Shelley, could you like save this file and then like send it back to me and then I can distribute it out so everybody has the, has it? Okay, so.
Will do.
Let me see here. Actually, oh, I'm sorry, I just saw something.
Sure.
Patrick actually, I'm sorry, I put him in the wrong spot. He actually signed up for breakdown.
Patrick did?
So, I can join Katie at the 1:45 to 4.
So you'll be there all day, just,
I'll be there all
I mean,
day.
I-
It's not a long day, so that
Okay.
works. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right, so then we have Geek Fest, which is a much longer event. So this is where we stand now. We're kind of heavy on the setup. So on the setup, could you scroll up a little higher, Shelley? There we go. So on the setup, we have Jason, Bill, and Adam. But then we also have an entire shift from 1:30 to 4 that's not covered. Can anybody shift around to help with coverage?
What day is that again?
That
The
is the 6th of
May 6th.
May.
I had signed up for breakdown on that one too, so,
I mean, if you want.
I'll do 1:30 to 4.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Bill, is that instead of setup? Okay. All right.
I'll help out Katie at her time.
So John,
Thanks,
do you
John.
wanna help Katie and then Sean can go in for breakdown instead?
Well, why don't, it looks like we've got 3 for the first shift.
Yeah, that's the only time I can come. One of those is a Bee City member.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can just do those and maybe somebody, not do the breakdown.
Not do the
If that works.
Yeah, I'll do the
Or-
breakdown.
Okay, so Sean is gonna do breakdown. And John is gonna be doing 2,
That's what it looks like.
okay.
Is this correct? It's difficult to hear Sean and John separately.
So,
I'm gonna do, Shelley, I'm doing 2 shifts, and I think you got me down correctly.
I took you off of 1, John. Okay, so you're going to be 8:45 to 11:30 and 11:15 to 1:45.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay, so is there anybody who can join Bill at 1:30 to 4?
I can stay, but not until 4.
Okay,
So if maybe one of the breakdown people can come early,
can come early.
okay.
Oh, I was good.
so if I stay till 3, does that
That will
Does that
work.
work? Okay.
Maybe until 3, and then for, either or both of you guys, if you want the breakdown crew, if you wanna come early.
Yeah, I can come at 3 if that's.
Okay, so Sean will come at 3 PM. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you all so much. Okay, let's take one final look and make sure that we have this correct. Maybe until 3, and then it is possible that some additional Bee City and Tree Cap folks may show up. So if they do, that'll be great. I will say that this event, definitely gets more traffic than the Earth Fest event probably will, so it is good to have at least 2 people per.
I believe last year or the year before, we were all set together, like the Tree City and the Bee folks.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure the Bee folks even
no, I
showed
don't
up.
think
Sustainability had
Yeah.
a table too,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is Peak Fest here or?
It's downtown.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Somewhere on Main Street, yeah.
Yeah, and Jessica, have you heard what our spot number is, or has there been a map released
I've
yet?
not seen that, I do know that there's a spot that's been reserved for the EAD, I just don't know where it is yet.
Okay,
I haven't seen it.
But Earth Fest is here.
Earth Fest, yeah, is out in the horseshoe out front.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so once we get the information for Peak Fest, we can distribute that as well. And yeah, perfect. Okay, well, thank you all for that. This is good.
Can I ask, is it gonna be on the lawn area? Is that what the Earth Fest?
Earth Fest? I
It's in the
think
horseshoe,
It was,
in the parking lot.
it in the parking lot, okay.
Yeah, I think just in the parking lot, I saw there were somebody stuck tape with numbers out there already. so-
Okay, do we know which one is ours?
Not yet.
Okay, and the reason I'm asking, I can get a solar panel sample, it's an older solar panel, but at least it's something for people to look at and talk. But I'd like to kind of put it up a little earlier than,
Yeah.
well, actually, it's 10 o'clock, and I can get up by 10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, this is not the early one. Peak Fest is, setting
Yeah, I
for
know.
that is,
I know.
you get to see the sunrise. It's interesting, it's fun. Okay, let's see, what else about that? So I think we've covered everything. Stormwater will help us transport, we're gonna get the inclement weather plan, we'll get our booth information. The only other note I had was, Bill, you had talked last meeting about potentially talking to maybe Home Depot.
I didn't get those.
Okay, all right, perfect, all right. We could,
and we'll,
Real quick on that, can I go back to the printing, so I'm checking on the poster, so you wanted that to be a poster board?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a trifold type thing if
Okay.
possible.
And no kind of handout, you don't want that as a handout as well?
Do we want it as handouts? I had initially thought the poster board, we would, set it up as like a trifold.
People could take pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just do that to minimize paper, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
and-
be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is everybody okay with that? Okay,
You can just point to it.
point. Exactly.
Someone will confirm tomorrow that Earth Fest is on.
Yeah, I have sent an email to the organizer, the
Great.
town staff, and just to
Thank
say, is there a plan, or when will the call be made, and how will it be communicated?
Thank you.
Sure. So as soon as I hear anything, I will
Is
let.
Mr.
Yeah, it
Mayor?
is showing 80% chance of rain
Oh, wow.
in the middle of the day.
Okay, great, perfect, right when the festival is supposed to happen.
Yep.
That's unfortunate because last year really was so beautiful
It
and it was
was.
perfect and,
But maybe it'll change.
yeah, maybe, yeah, we can hope. Okay, so I think we covered it. Does anybody have any additional items for open discussion tonight?
I can bring up one that we talked about, and that's, consider getting a coating for the town parking lots that's very light colored. Phoenix, Arizona does that on their streets, and they found a 10-degree drop, I think it is, on average for the middle of the day, temperature-wise. And the coatings are apparently very good. They're long-lasting, environmentally friendly. And I thought, maybe the electrical facility where we had this massive black parking lot would be a possible spot. Something that we might recommend to council or to staff.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I think it's an interesting concept. I know people have been throwing around ideas about, painting roofs white. to,
Yeah,
you know, help
makes a
with
big
the-
difference.
The heat island effect as well,
Mhm.
so,
Can you send us that article?
this.
I can send the article to y'all, I think,
Thank you.
yeah, if I can
Yeah.
figure out how to work my computer.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know more about
Yeah,
it.
because they're seeing like.
And that's just one article. I'm sure there's a bunch on it.
Of excess.
Yeah.
Oh, that just brings it down to 100 in Phoenix.
Well, I mean, in
there.
Phoenix, it said it reduced at 10 to 12 degrees, so that's
there you
at,
go.
Yeah,
at
that brings it
noon.
down to 100, yeah.
At noon,
Brings it
so
down
that
to
was-
100.
Yeah, they're in a nasty place. I don't know why they made Phoenix there, other than there was a crossroads of railroads or something like that.
I mean, somebody just gave up on the way to the West Coast and say, okay, like, I'm done, here's what's gonna be.
It must have been it, yeah. I'll tell you, a long time ago, I was there and we rented this little Toyota something or other. And you could either sit in the shade and run the air conditioner, or you could drive and not run the air conditioner. It was that nasty. It was one nasty place.
And now they have a water issue there, right? They're getting caught up in that. Well, maybe not so much since.
Oh, yeah, California, all
Colorado
that
River.
whole area.
Yeah,
Too many people.
yeah.
Yeah, we have an office in Tempe, so I've been there a couple times in the past year, and it's just, you don't wanna be there during the summer.
No,
It's great in the spring, but.
yeah. That's why I guess they call them snowbirds.
I was there injecting steam into the ground for 2 months in July and August about 10 years ago, so.
Wow.
You were injecting what into the ground?
Steam,
Steam.
It
yeah.
wasn't hot enough for you.
It was 118 degrees.
Oh, my
Didn't take much to make steam then, huh?
No, yeah, the ground temperature, even 20 feet deep, was 80 degrees,
Oh, my
which is ridiculous because here it's probably like 60.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, setting up a boiler in that temperature is not a good time.
Okay, so Bill will send us information about
Yes.
the cool pavement. Thank you. Okay, anything else? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Also move.
All right, Katie moves to adjourn. Second, is there a second?
I'll second.
I don't know. Jason will second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, opposed? All right, meeting adjourned at 6:39 PM. Thank you all, and